Hey everybody, it's your fine hair natural friend, Michelle from Fine Natural Hair and Faith. And in today's video, we're going to do a little bit of a talk through some tips on ways that you can boost your hair regimen so that it is most effective. So as you can tell from the title of the video, 7 hair habits for a solid hair regimen. We're going to start with the ones that you probably already know, but we're going to go into a little bit more detail as well as some additional tips. So the first tip is deep condition after every single wash. Now, there are going to be times when you may feel like, I don't have time to deep condition. I suggest that you would just put off that wash day for a day or two then. It really is important to deep condition your hair because that is the time that you give your hair the most moisture that it needs. So I would not skip deep conditioning. Granted, there are always exceptions. Once in a very blue moon, like really, really blue, as in like the sky is blue and there's not a cloud in sight, maybe you can skip a deep conditioning. But for the most part, you want to always deep condition your hair after washing. It just allows your hair to retain more moisture throughout the week. The second hair habit to make a solid hair regimen is to only trim your hair as needed. Who says that you need to trim your hair every 6 weeks? If you think about it, your hair grows from the root and it only grows at approximately a ½ inch a month. And that's just on average. Some people grow slower than that. So if you're trimming your hair every 6 weeks or even every 8 weeks, unless you're causing damage or unless you're trying to maintain the neatness of your ends at a certain length, I would say if you really want your hair regimen to be boosted so that you can retain more length, just trim as needed. The next hair habit that you want to develop is always protecting your hair. At night when you go to sleep or in the daytime, if you're a nighttime worker, pre-pooing before you wash is a form of protecting your hair during the wash cycle. In the daytime, when you're commuting and when you're traveling, putting your hair up so that it doesn't rub on your clothes or get caught on anything. Like I've literally been on the subway and had my hair get caught in, like when I wear my hair out in curls, I had my hair get caught in someone's hand. Like how does that even happen? I'll tell you how. They too doggone close. And this was all pre-pandemic, but you get my picture. Protect your hair when you're commuting as well as when you're sleeping. You also want to protect your hair when styling it. Yes, when styling it, trimming off cuticles that are hanging, hangnails, when you're doing your hair, protecting it by wearing gloves so that your fingernails don't get caught in your hair when you're washing it and detangling it and doing all those things. Just think about all of the ways that you can protect your hair from being broken or being damaged throughout the process of your everyday life. Just think about all of those ways that you can protect your hair. Make it a habit to protect your hair on a regular basis. And the next thing that you want to do and make a habit is to proactively moisturize your hair. Don't wait for it to dry out. Yes, you want to moisturize your hair when it feels dry, but if you proactively keep your hair moisturized, that is an excellent habit to develop. And that includes hydrating internally. You want to make sure you're drinking enough water. You want to make sure that you're also topically applying, moisturizers to your hair, be it by a way of a spritz and then sealing in the moisture. If you have high porosity hair, you have to work even more diligently to keep your hair moisturized because moisture does tend to escape it. So doing those apple cider vinegar rinses, making sure you're deep conditioning, making sure you're using a sealing method. And that may mean you need to moisturize more often, but who says you have to wait for your hair to dry out for it to moisturize it? Obviously, you don't want to over moisturize because then you can cause hydro fatigue, but proactively moisturizing your hair. For example, I moisturize my hair predominantly on wash day by way of the deep conditioning, like I mentioned earlier. However, what I also like to do is I like to examine my ends. If they start to even feel a little bit like they're losing moisture, I will add moisture to them. I will seal them with a butter and a gel to fuse them together. And this just really helps to be proactive with keeping moisture in your hair. The 5th habit that you can develop to boost your hair regimen, make it real solid, is to Do reviews of your hair, like literally your process, your products. I would say do it annually and do it quarterly. I wouldn't do it monthly because monthly is too often. You need to really see what's working. So quarterly is a great place to start to really see like what your hair likes, what your hair doesn't like. This is a good habit to have. I had to started like really just examining my hair processes, procedures, and products. So PPP. Processes, procedures, and products. Some may say processes and procedures are the same. I disagree because I feel like your process could be one thing that you do, but the procedure could be a number of things that you do in conjunction with each other. I mean, you know, apples to apples. But regardless of the fact, just ensuring that you review your hair care habits. Let's just call it habits. The things that you do your hair on a regular basis, on a quarterly basis, just to see what's working so that you can tweak it and make any changes as needed. Now, I know this one bears no introduction because I talk about it all the time. But for us fine hair naturals, I think it's very important to make a habit of using protein. Protein in our hair. It's not saying you have to do it every wash day, but at some point in time, you have to fortify these fine strands, be it by protein, be it by using products that act like protein and strengthen your hair like henna and amla and fenugreek. Those things, I just say, make sure you are strengthening your hair on a regular basis. Don't wait for it to start breaking off before you run for the protein treatment, because then you're going to need a heavy duty treatment. But if you do a light maintenance every now and again, maybe like every 3 weeks, once a month even, that will allow your hair to really flourish. If you use heat, I'm hoping as a fine hair natural, you're not using any topical heat often, like no more than once a year. Honestly, I don't do it even that often. I may allow my hair to be flat ironed every 3 or 4 years. If you're doing that more regularly, you're going to need protein more regularly. It just is what it is. The hair is fine, the hair is fragile. Protein helps to fill along gaps along the hair shaft and to re-strengthen the hair as needed. But once you cause damage, the only way to get rid of damage is to cut it out or let it grow out. So let's just be proactive. I love that word. Proactive with adding that protein treatment to our hair regimen on a regular basis. Whatever that is for you, it could be monthly, like I said. For me, it's every 2 to 3 weeks. The final hair habits that you can develop for a solid hair regimen is to give your hair a rest from excessive styling, a rest from having your ends out, a rest from washing too often. I admittedly started out washing my hair weekly. The more I realized is that my hair doesn't need to be washed weekly. One, I don't use a lot of hair products. So because I don't use a lot of stylers and butters all the time, I don't need to wash my hair weekly. I moved to washing my hair every 2 weeks. That seems like a good balance, but now I am experimenting with washing my hair every 3 weeks. I don't think I could move to monthly just because my scalp will start to rebel. But making sure that you just do less with your hair. Don't handle it so often. It has to become a habit that you stop touching your hair. Stop doing so much to it. So that's it for the 7 hair habits that you can do for a solid hair regimen. That's it. Those are my 7. I'm sure there are more, but I think that these are really good habits to start with. Anybody who's been following my channel long enough knows that I went from my hair being a lot shorter than it is today to what it is today. Like, it is really starting to grow and thrive. And I do blow dry my hair out probably once a month. Sometimes I go a little bit longer. I use the Revere hair dryer. And I love this hair dryer so much because it has not caused me any damage and it allows me to stretch my hair gently. One thing I would say is I used to be pro wash and go, and I love my wash and go. I love the way my wash and go looks. However, the wash and go for most of us can really cause a lot of tangling and breakage. I still love my wash and go. I do my wash and go more so in the summertime, but I do not allow my wash and go to go a week. 3 days and I'm rewashing my hair. I don't want to allow the tangles to build up. And so just consider this a bonus, if you will, for a solid hair regimen. Like, just keep your hair stretched. Stretched is so important for those of us with really kinky hair, especially kinky hair that's fine, because it can tangle, and tangling just leads to breakage. And if you're trying to retain length, you don't want your hair breaking, obviously. Now let's just talk about this hair here. If you notice, it's pretty frizz-free. And guess what? It is a week old, and I don't tie my hair down at night. I don't tie my hair down at night. I sleep on a satin pillowcase back there somewhere, but I can't. Like, I'm in menopause and my head is hot most of the time. So instead, what I do is I sleep on my satin pillowcase. I let my braids do their thing. And when I get up, I'm actually going to create a video for you guys how I maintain my braids. If that's something you're interested in, just let me know in the comment section. But it allows my braids to be pretty smooth for the most part. And I will share with you how, because I'm going to leave it to the young girls tying their hair down. Like, I can't. I mean, when I tell you these hormones just be going and going. Anyway, that's another video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Oh, let me show y'all really quick. So this is my braid. This is all me. This is not no extensions. I start my braid out kind of like a cornrow, and this is only the ones in the bottom. The ones in the top, these are just box braids. I do not like little braids. They may look a little bit to you, but they're really not little. I can braid these really fast. Little braids are a recipe for disaster for fine hair because they tangle. This is as small as my braids get, and this is just fine for me. But obviously, if you have more hair or you have less hair, you may need to do more braids or less braids. But this is a length retention style, like seriously. My braids, being that they're not too small, I can undo them quickly and refreshen them if I need to. I never refresh the ones in the bottom because I start them out in a, like a cornrow. The ones in the top, I'll show you in the video how I refresh those so they look fresh. But right now, my braid, this is my braid, and it's sitting like, it's literally almost at titty ball length. It's to the titty ball length, y'all. Let me tell you, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be doing the dance. But anyway, that's it for this video. I don't want to make it too long. It's probably too long. I will catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching. And if you're new here, this is me, y'all. I like to have fun with my videos. I might not be for everybody, but hopefully I'm for you. And you will subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks, and I will catch you in the very next video. God bless.